Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's take a look at this full moon coming up. Boy, the 8th, the 9th through the 11th is really some very powerful energy. If you're looking at the astrology charts, we do have a lot going on, which I'll talk about as we get through this reading. But I want to really focus on what is going on for us, the collective, and also whatever shows up for you personally in this reading. Take what resonates, okay? Leave what doesn't. The reason I wanted to do this reading more than anything, I know there's a grand air trine, there's all this stuff going on in the heavens and within us. But really, I wanted to focus on the full moon in Aquarius because it is about jumping timelines. It is about choosing timelines. What kind of future do you want to create? That's what Aquarius is. Aquarius is focusing us on the future. And this full moon is about letting go of the hand of anything that blocks us from getting there. So if you've had some kind of obsession with a person, or if you've had a very toxic relationship, or if you just are burned out at work or whatever, it's kind of like letting go of the thing that is standing on your cape. So let's take a look at what the reading has to say about this full moon and how you can use the energy to your best and highest good. Ooh, check it out. Good fortune right out the gate. I like that. I'm a Sag, so every time I see this, it makes me laugh because that's a Sag card. Lucky, fire, woo, doggy. I like it. Stormy. That happened just recently in another reading where there was this beautiful kind of fiery energy. You know, stormy comes from fiery energy. So I'm not that concerned about that. It feels like there's a lot going on, which of course we know. And the full moon in Aquarius really has us looking at the future. Now, the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and that can be sudden, right? But the historical ruler of Uranus is Saturn. So there's definitely some work to be done here. So let's just take a look and see what this full moon is offering us. Know that you can stand in the energy of releasing anything that is keeping you from your best and highest timeline. Okay, that feels very basic to me in terms of these readings, very obvious to me. Two of Swords, the Justice card. Oh yeah, let's see, the Five of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and Four of Cups. There's a lot of dragging of one's feet here. Oh my gosh. What in the world? I feel like some of you are just, I'm not sure what to do, right? I'm not sure what to do next. I feel there's still a drag, a stagnation. Maybe this can also be, we just had Mars move into Libra, and here's the Libra card, Justice. And there's Mars. There's something here about not wanting to have a confrontation. So I'm dragging my feet. I don't want a firestorm. I don't want something that's going to upset my apple cart here. Even though you're going in a good direction here with the Good Fortune card and the Lucky card. You're going in a good direction, but you're going to have to walk through a bit of fire here. And I feel like you've been resisting some kind of fight or argument. You think that's going to happen if you move forward, if you take any action. Now, we also have Mercury still in retrograde until the 11th. Okay, so after we get through this full moon on the 9th, 16 degrees of Aquarius, we have, because the sun is at 16 degrees of Leo. So anything you guys have in your birth chart that are at those degrees really being activated by this moon. The people who are going to be most affected by this moon are the people with fixed signs. So Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, because there's squares and there's oppositions. So that presses on a nerve. And I see it here in the reading. You're pressing on some kind of nerve by stepping into what you want to create. Mercury is going direct on the 11th. It won't be out of the shadow for a little while though. Okay. But you're definitely stepping on some kind of nerve here. All right. So you're resisting that. 8 of Pentacles, or somebody is stepping on your nerve and you're like resisting, pushing back. 8 of Pentacles, the 5 of Cups, and the Page of Wands. There's a stagnation in terms of work and money here. This could be a work-related situation where you're biding your time. And I like the full moon energy in Aquarius because it says like, well, this may be just a momentary thing. You're going to need to choose. You're going to need to step into it at some point if you're wanting to move forward. You can't just stand still. If you want to grow the business, if you want to grow the relationship, you're going to have to brave the storm of potentially having an argument with somebody. It's the cost of doing business. Okay. There's 5 of Pentacles, the Emperor, 6 of Pentacles. So some kind of, I feel like this is brought up, even though there looks like a lot of abundance in the future, there's some kind of fear of letting go of what you have, even though what you have is kind of stagnant. And like taking some kind of action. I also feel like there might be something around, that's more balance. The 6 of Pentacles is success and balance. And the success is going to come from these new ideas, this fire, this fun, this joy. And so you can't just stand still. King of Pentacles, Lovers, Knight of Cups. So some of you are opting to move out of a relationship that's, kind of stable Mabel. All right. Steady state. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. There's something about it though that isn't fulfilling to you. And it's kind of like the stable Mabel thing was fine, like all the fixed signs thing, like they love stable Mabel kind of things. But there's a sense of like fear that if I go for it, that if I really, step outside of this relationship and go for something that I want, that what if I don't get it? And I've lost what I had, which was okay, which was fine, but fine is a 4-letter word, my friend. So I just feel, of course, I am a Sag, so I'm kind of like not okay with fine. But this is saying to you that in order to get the real benefit of the energetic experience that we're having right now, we're having that full moon in Aquarius. In order to choose that timeline, you're going to have to actively choose it. It's not going to just be bestowed upon you. Right now we have a grand air trine with Mars moving into Libra. So Mars in Libra, Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto in Aquarius. So all the air signs are connected at the very early degrees. And the early degrees are pure air energy. So there is this sense of like, it's just a lot of ideas. It's just a lot of ideas. And as we get, through this time, you'll also notice that Saturn and to a lesser degree Neptune, but definitely Saturn is involved, and that creates the look of a kite. So I will put, let's see, here, whatever. I put a graphic up of what that looks like energetically, that Saturn is creating the energy of movement. It's work, but it's movement, right? So a grand air trine, grand trines are about flow and ease and things, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Which is a very much a fixed sign. I really like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But when we get that kite going, when Saturn gets in the conversation and Neptune, all the outer planets, so this is for a collective, a big collective, generational collective. We can't just kind of let things go without putting effort into it in order to get what we want. If you're wanting to drive the conversation instead of having it be thrust upon you, you're going to have to put in effort and time. Saturn's pointing right at Mars in Libra. Mars doesn't really like Libra. Mars loves Aries, the opposite sign. So Mars doesn't really like Libra because Libra imposes rules and restrictions and justice. And Mars is like, screw that. I want to do what I want to do. Saturn says, hey, these guardrails are important. It's not just something to get in your way. There's a reason for these guardrails, for these rules. Now, we can have a conversation about what those rules are and decide collectively if they need to change moving forward. But I want to kind of move you out of the mindset of, any kind of conversation that leads to some kind of fight, the stormy energy, isn't for nothing. It can be very valuable to sort of pierce the energy of reluctance or pierce the energy of drag, of kind of just going with the flow and like nothing's ever changing. So it can have its usefulness to take action, to have a conversation, to feel fiery again, to feel like alive again. You're going to have to it really does take you, like if you're in a rut, think about it like you're on a bicycle or something and you're in like a little rut. You kind of have to, put some oomph in it to get that bike out of that little rut or whatever has wheels to get it out of that rut. You kind of got to push it. So there's something here that I feel like the universe says, good on you. We can have this conversation about what the rules are, Mars. And I feel like that shifts the perspective because grand air trines are about thinking and thoughts and ideas. And I feel like this effort with Saturn, this is like, hey, it's going to be hard to do. I don't want to have this conflict, but I really need to move this in a different direction for myself. And so I'm going to deal with the fact that there might be conflict around this and even some disappointment. Maybe somebody's not going to go along with it. And you're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is the direction I'm going in. If you don't want to come with me, that's fine. But if I stand in the same position, it will eventually wither and die. Like, everything must continue you're either growing or you're dying. Okay. So this full moon in Aquarius asks us to choose our timeline. Choose the timeline that brings you excitement and joy and fire and passion. And then you got to brave the storm in order to get there. You got to make the choice, right? You're making the choice to move it forward. What comes of that is like the universe kind of bestows, since we're talking about Saturn here, Saturn looking at Mars, that's a very fiery energy. It's a warlike energy, but there's something that comes of it that is positive. There's new opportunities that come from it. Yeah, maybe some people fall away or some old opportunities go away or some things that have been hanging on too long like wither and fall off the vine. Fine. That's okay. We got Aries energy right in the middle here. We've got Mercury down here with the Lovers card. Now remember that that Mercury goes direct in Leo on August 11th. So right now this feels like a preparation time. Right? I'm doing this reading on August 6th, and that's when Mars moves into Libra, and that's activated. This grand air trine is activated. And then we'll have this full moon in Aquarius that is really going to be pushing us, and Saturn is going to be pushing us as Saturn is in opposition to that Libra, Mars Libra energy. So these are some major deal things happening right now. This is a little bit the calm before the storm. All right, so let's get ready for that. Okay, if this is your reading, I will continue on. I will go deeper. I will look at what we don't see coming. I'll look at the next 30 days. I'll get some advice and see how we can harness this energy for our best and highest good. Okay, link is below if you want to continue on. See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.